This is Bernard, a tiny mouse who can balance on a single stem of wheat. In the wild, harvest mice live in meadows and wheat fields, but as pets they spend their lives in cages
Aw, he's so cute. Look at that cute.
that look nothing like the habitats they evolved for. So I wanted to try something different and see what would happen if I built Bernard a meadow ecosystem. But over the next 80 days, things escalated much faster than I expected, and I was left with a serious problem. Raising
I'm getting busy, bro. Throwing left, right hooks. Yeah, you okay? Nah, you might be
a
evil.
tiny mouse might seem cute, but it's far more challenging than I ever imagined. And Bernard's story begins on day 1. Bernard is a Eurasian harvest mouse, roughly the size of a strawberry, and his new home is big enough for quite a few strawberries. By giving him an ecosystem that mimics a meadow, I was hoping he'd behave like a harvest mouse in the wild, and as he entered his new home, Bernard immediately began to gnaw at a seed. Exactly the kind of behaviour that I was hoping to see. But that brings me to the bigger idea. Can this meadow support a harvest mouse family? And by day 5, our new guests arrived. It's almost as if Bernard was expecting female visitors, because just before the guests arrived.
Now, before we continue with this video, how many of y'all would actually have one of these as a pet? Like, how many of y'all would actually have this as a pet? I mean, this mouse right here don't look too bad. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. You know, he look cool. I ain't lying. How many of y'all, you know what I'm saying, would make this y'all pet? Cause he chill. He said okay. He was fine the other ones in the beginning, so we're gonna see what he actually. But he's. I rock with it, bro.
He started to groom himself. This is Bianca, and this is Gus. Bernard has 2 girlfriends because he is enthusiastic, let's say. Now, harvest mice might be extremely cute and gentle creatures, but with 2 more personalities in the terrarium, a problem quickly surfaced. As Bianca is eating, Bernard begins to bother her. Now this is fine until Gus joins the party and all hell breaks loose.
Yo, Gus? Nah, okay, so Bernard, is his name Bernard? He's saying, I'm gonna say Bernard. Bernard. He chilling, bro. So it's this new one, it's Gus. That man on some other stuff, bro. Did you see that? Bro immediately went to throwing hands. He like there was no talking, there's no discussion. It was like on site.
So Gus joins the party and all hell breaks loose. It seems that we have 3 mice who cannot get along, and if this continues, something will have to change. And by day 10, that's exactly what happened. It took 10 days, but the meadow has finally come to life. Springtails appear where there is moisture, isopods are hidden beneath the damp grass, benevolent worms churn over the soil, and I even caught this little snail eating some poo. The meadow now has custodians and the system has settled, but the mice, however, have not. And this leaves me with 2 choices. Either I separate the mice and find them new homes, or I leave them in there and hope that they settle.
Or just hear me out, put a snake in there, and whoever gets eaten first loses. You feel me? I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, hey, you know, just put a snake in there. Whoever gets eaten first is the loser. You know.
Ray of hope, and Bernard, Bianca and Gus are going nowhere. For now.
This may be the last ad you ever see, because with the free ad block extension from Capital One Shop,
I tried to build the most accurate meadow terrarium I could for the mice, one that reflected how they actually live in the wild, and on day 20 something magical happened. Harvest mice are not like other mice. They spend most of their lives high up in the long grass and cereal crops, moving above the ground rather than across it. In the wild, they build their nests up there too, woven into the stems, but in captivity that behaviour is almost never seen. Now it was through building them this accurate meadow terrarium that enabled Bianca to build herself a little nest. And it wasn't just Bianca, because Big Gus did it too, and Bernard, characteristically, has built one next to the food bowl. But it's not just their behaviour that has changed. It's day 30 and that wheat stalk is holding on for dear life because Bianca is carrying a little extra weight.
Hey, but they got busy. Who child is it, bro? Is it Gus or Bernard? Oh wait, well, or is Gus a girl too? Did you say Gus was a girl too?
And so is Gus. Now this is
Oh, okay, they both okay, I'm tripping, okay. Gus is a girl's name is crazy work. They ain't both pregnant, bro. My boy Bernard, but you must be, you know, I don't know, man. That's a lot. That's a tough pill to swallow, bro. That's a lot of responsibility, you know.
not holiday weight, and I'm pretty sure that our little Harvest Mouse family is about to increase in size. But it was at this moment that I realised I had reached the point of no return. Bernard, Bianca and Gus are the parents. Bianca could be carrying a litter of up to 7 pups, and so could Gus. In around 17 to 19 days they would be born, and that alone takes the meadow to 17 mice. But harvest mice grow up fast, and in as little as 6 weeks those pups would be capable of breeding themselves, and this was the beginning of my problem. If you take your eyes off a harvest mouse for even a moment, everything can change. In the morning, Bianca's nest was perfect, but by the evening, it had all but disappeared. The carefully woven ball of grass had completely unravelled, and our little mouse sits in its place. If she doesn't build another nest, her babies will have nowhere to go. But Bianca is a determined mouse, and she begins to grab dried grass and fibres, weaving them into a ball. Once she was done, a thicker, more robust nest appeared at the bottom right-hand corner of the terrarium. And look who I caught going inside. My friends, I think it's about to happen. But before we get into the next part of the story, there's something I want to show you. Your support in watching my videos and buying my previous Cloud the Glass. Out of the 3 mice, Gus had always been the calmest. While Bianca stayed close to her nest, Gus always comes to the front of the terrarium and will very calmly let me hold her, sometimes joining me for breakfast. Gus may be the calmest of the mice, but if there is one thing she doesn't like, it's being out in the open. Every time she goes on the table, she runs back to me, over and over again.
Oh, that's cute, dude, yo.
And it's only when I create a little cup in my hand that she calms down and properly joins me for breakfast.
Intrusive thought. I mean, if the mouse bit him per se, he just would that hurt the mouse? I'm just saying.
Watching Gus scratch her belly is the best way to end any day, but very soon, the whole dynamic of the terrarium was about to change. I've never seen anyone build a bioactive terrarium for a mouse, which is surprising because it works almost perfectly, simulating their natural environment, enabling them to show natural behaviours. But there was one thing it hadn't done yet. The only mouse still roaming the meadow is Bernard. Bianca and Gus have disappeared into their nests, and I have no way of knowing what's happening inside. If I interfere, they could abandon their nests, and with tiny babies relying on their mother's milk, I don't even want to think about it. I prepared myself for a long wait, but in typical Harvest Mouse fashion, I did not have to wait very long. Just a few days later, the girls reappeared, but something about them was different. Firstly, they were noticeably slimmer than before, and instead of eating in the food bowl, they began carrying food straight back to their nests, which could only mean one thing. Somewhere inside those woven balls of grass, new life had almost certainly arrived. But before I could see the babies, Bernard showed us exactly why he couldn't stay in the meadow any longer. As soon as female harvest mice give birth, they are immediately ready to mate again. and Bernard is very happy to oblige. If I left him in the meadow, the situation would spiral out of control, so our
Like what? See, animals got this junk figured out, bro. They only do it. They only, you know what I'm saying, get busy with it when it's time to make some, kids. You know what I'm saying? It's natural. Nah, humans done took it to a whole other ball game. They're just doing it for fun. For pleasure. It's fun to do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we need to go back to the mindset of nah, I'm just I don't know. I don't know. Animals are different. You know, they
little friend sadly has to be removed, but as I would soon discover, I was already too late.
just now you have 30.
Welcome.
Nothing can prepare you for the feeling of discovering a baby harvest mouse. It took 50 days, it took building a meadow ecosystem, and it took our 3 beautiful mice doing all of the hard work. I thought there were 3 nests in here, but I was wrong, because in the top left corner is a 4th, and that movement you just saw is a baby leaving the nest. All over the terrarium, little faces dart around, almost too fast to catch on camera, but if we look underneath the hay, we get a clearer picture. 3 little mice are licking springtails and mites off the glass, but they haven't quite learnt how to catch food yet. I had never seen a baby harvest mouse before, and I was not prepared for this level of cuteness. It was clear that the meadow had worked. Bernard, Bianca and Gus have raised their first generation of babies, but the success comes with a catch, because the day your harvest mice have babies is the day your problems begin to multiply, and even though Bernard had already been removed from the meadow, I was too late. By day 60, the scale of the problem was impossible to ignore, and I'm starting to think that harvest mice do not make good pets. While the first generation were getting to grips with the meadow, Bianca and Gus were busy brewing the second generation. And this is a big problem. Because harvest mice don't stay babies for long. In just a few weeks they're going to have their own babies, and a few weeks after that they'll have their own babies, which means that this meadow is on the literal verge of becoming something I cannot control, and this cannot continue.
So, like I said, go ahead and throw a python in there, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I'm saying, we can create a nice ecosystem. Go ahead and throw a predator in there so they can control, you know what I'm saying, population control, you feel me? Go ahead and throw a nice little snake up in there, man. Or an owl, you feel me? Wait, owls eat mice? Yeah, I think an owl eat mice too. Man, screw it. Throw a boa constrictor in there.
Hey guys. What's up, buddy?
How does he know which one is which still? Like, without them being labeled? Like, how does he know? They all look identical. How does he know?
What's up, buddy? There we go. Gus didn't know it yet, but this would be the last time she stepped onto my finger, because when you truly love something, you have to do what's best for it, and sometimes that means letting go. I cannot give the mice the life they deserve. 4 babies were born in the first litter, and another 10 in the second, including the adults. That's 17 harvest mice in just 80 days, and this is why harvest mice do not make good pets. But there is another way we can help. Harvest mice have largely disappeared from the British countryside, and in some areas have not been seen in over 40 years. But thanks to a small group of volunteers, things are beginning to change. Ealing Wildlife Group have released over 3,000 harvest mice into the local area, and recent field studies have found that their efforts are truly working. Their work has even been recognised by the legend himself, David Attenborough. So as a small way of giving back and to support them and these wonderful mice, I've set up a fundraiser, and just £20 feeds the entire colony for a month, and if you'd like to help, you'll find a link below. But there is one more thing. Because the meadow, Bernard, Bianca, Gus and the babies will live on as an educational display at Horsenden Farm, helping people understand these tiny animals and why they're worth protecting. If you're in London, you can come and visit them for yourself, and who knows, maybe I'll see you there. If you enjoyed this video, check out this one too.
Okay, not bad. Ain't gonna lie, Bro, voice sound like one of them voices from like one of them shows you watch on TV, like Animal Planet or something like that. I dig it. I might watch some more of his videos, man. You know what I'm saying? But hey, bro, if you like it, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and check out the 2 videos that's at the end of this video. And I will catch you guys in the next episode, man. This is DmantraTv. I'll catch you guys later, dog. So yeah. Editors?